All right. So while we're waiting on them, I'm just going to tell us, like Dorkong asked, about the Smile Outreach. So the Smile Outreach is a nonprofit committed to addressing sexual grooming, cross-generational sexual relationships, and advocating for menstrual justice. So that's like our three focus areas and causes that we're very passionate about. And so we do this by creating and implementing educational and interventional initiatives at the grassroots level throughout Africa. So we're very key on innovation and also grassroots. And so most of the work that we do is in the rural areas using innovative methods, which a lot of our projects, if you check our website, speaks about. And like I said, sexual grooming, cross-generational sexual relationships, and advocating for menstrual justice is very, very key for us. These are causes that we're very passionate about, and we recently just launched our huge project focused on solving all of these three issues, including menstrual justice. The Good Cycle initiative, which was just launched. I'm just going to go straight into why we're here today. And like I said earlier, we're here to have a conversation around gender. So the topic is tackling gender issues in Nigeria, but we're also coming from a different angle to look at what women are doing at the grassroots level. And we have amazing women here that are going to be sharing with us what they're doing at the grassroots level. We have Dorkong Rimdan here. I hope I got the name correctly. Dorkong
Okay, so
Rimdan.
it's Dorkong Rimdan. Yes, the G in Dorkong is silent.
All right. Okay. So sorry for that. So Dorkong is the founder of FemPawa, and she's here today to share from her wealth of knowledge and also share with us all that she has been doing. She's a menstrual hygiene advocate and a professional events compere and a radio host at Cool FM Abuja. So guys, we have a celebrity in our midst. So please pay attention as she, graces us with her presence today. So she uses her platform on radio to raise awareness about the dangers of poor menstrual hygiene, while also talking at the government and stakeholders to subsidize sanitary kits for girls and women who menstruate. FemPawa was founded by Dorkong Rimdan in 2021 after a burning desire to empower women and girls with knowledge about female healthcare. Girls Pride Initiative for Sustainable Development is an organization dedicated to empowering girls and fostering sustainable development through education, advocacy, and community engagement. With a profound commitment to gender equity and youth empowerment, Ayobamikale has been instrumental in driving initiatives that improve the lives of teenagers, girls, and young women. A renowned advocate and thought leader in menstrual health and hygiene, Ayo is the author of the widely celebrated Cycle of Confidence Menstrual Health and Hygiene Guide for parents, teenagers, and educators. This essential guide provides practical advice, supports open discussions, and equips teenagers, parents, and educators with the knowledge needed to manage menstrual health confidently and sensitively. Ayobami's dedication to these causes is evident in the organization's impactful work, which has significantly increased awareness, reduced stigma, and improved access to menstrual hygiene education. And our last speaker for today is our own founder of the Smile Outreach Foundation, Bidemi Adedire. Bidemi Adedire stands out as a dedicated communications and ideas strategist, deeply committed to women's empowerment, menstrual equity, and adolescent health at the Smile Outreach. She is continuously drawn to the dynamic intersection of technology and creativity, viewing each technological tool as a fresh opportunity for innovation. Bidemi adheres to the principle that challenges are merely veiled opportunities for growth and development. She firmly believes in the power of striving for a better world, a commitment she sees as invaluable. Aligned with the vision of nurturing a world that is kinder, healthier, and brimming with innovation, she is always ready to collaborate with like-minded individuals and organizations. So, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for our very own founder, Bidemi Adedire. Thank you all, ladies, for coming here to share with us from your wealth of knowledge. And so today, like I said, we're having a quick conversation. I'm going to be asking a few questions and we having a discussion around it. And my very first question to you both, Bidemi and Dorkong, would be: have you experienced gender equality or inequality in your field? And I think I will start with Dorkong as a media personnel, right, and the founder of a non-profit. Has there at any point been any experience of gender equality or inequality in your area of, expertise?
All right. Nice to meet you, Bidemi, and good evening to everyone, all our listeners. And I'll just go straight to answering that question. So yes, there have been all sorts of experiences being a female in the media space. So maybe I'll just start off by quickly sharing a report by the Wallace Shoyinka Center for Investigative Journalism, which has revealed a low representation of women in media leadership across 4 media genres. And according to this report, which focuses on women's representation in newsrooms and news leaderships in Nigeria, women accounted for 25.7% of leadership positions, while men dominated with 74.3% from a survey of 111 media organizations in Nigeria. And print and online platforms exhibited the lowest representation of women at 4.6% and 5.5% respectively, while radio and television had 9.2% and 6.5% respectively. And there are other instances, but I would not want to talk too much about all of those. But just looking at how women are portrayed generally, and that's women in media when it comes to content now. Women are largely portrayed as the pleasure of sexuality and sensuality, confirming gender-based roles and division of labor at home and society, or as innocent victims of violators of social attitudes and mindsets towards gender discrimination, whereas men characters are portrayed with confidence, power, and authority, taking leadership and making decisions or caught in unfavorable circumstances, usually created by one of the women in their lives. But now, bringing it down personally, and the reason I established that is because of the next point I'm about to make. So at my workplace, we have a very, I'll say good, we've made good progress in employing women, but there's still a significant gap in leadership roles, as all 4 stations in Abuja are managed by men, right? And in event hosting, I would say I've faced instances of being underrated and sidelined due to my gender. On one occasion, a male co-host was rude and dominating, frequently interrupting me to read dignitaries he knew. So yeah, the dignitaries, that's great stuff, but can you do this a little more cordially so it doesn't look like there's a clash on stage? And just before we went on stage, I even tried to, because I love preps a lot. So I wanted to do like a prep with him, and he was like, no, I don't do preps. I'm good to go anytime, any day. But while the program was on, I held my ground, and midway through the event, he realized his behavior was unacceptable and he stopped at some point. And that was because I did not back down. I did not allow him have his way. Another time, when introduced as MC to an event organizer, he reacted with displeasure, and he looked and he was like, oh, this is the MC. And he made several derogatory comments. But I guess by the end of the event, which was the following day, he got the message that it's really not about gender, especially with the positive reviews that came through. And now bringing it back to radio and my first year on radio, I was bullied on air by a listener. This guy literally claimed that he was a lot older than me and therefore more authoritative when I reminded him of our rules. So I can't remember exactly what he was doing or not doing. And so I tried to remind him that, hey, this is how things should be done. And he literally bullied me on air. But I was with my a co-host who was also a guy. Unfortunately, the guy did not even try to have my back on the show. So I just had to do what I could do at the time as a newbie. I was also physically assaulted by a DJ. This was pretty recent. This was I think beginning of this year. Right. Sometime beginning of this year. I was assaulted by a DJ. An incident that required the attention of the police. I had to make sure that the police got to him and sent him a message so he would know in his entire life he would never lay his hand on a woman, especially when she did not even do anything. She did not touch you physically, so why on earth would you do anything like that? And finally, I have been dismissively referred to as a small girl because I was introduced to do a role that seemed, in quotes, big for a big person or a big man or a guy. Yeah. I also must share that as someone in the space of NGO, the NGO space, most people would refer to it as a girl thing or a woman problem and therefore see no reason to pay attention or support or donate, for someone who is paying a lot of attention to the menstrual health of girls. A man once told me, and I quote, that the way you carry, so I'm not sure how to categorize this particular statement, but I just thought it was insensitive considering the goal behind the outreach. So this is me quoting him. The way you carry menstrual matter for head, like say your owner thrice a month. I mean, how do you make such a comment on an international issue like period poverty? Even SDG states that it's a health issue and must be addressed. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dorkong. And I can really relate to what you're saying. Especially some comments made by the men. You're a small girl, because it looks like every Nigerian man thinks every woman is a small girl. I don't know why they have that impression. Or thinking you're not capable of handling some things or doing some things just because you are a woman, and so you can't handle it. But the fact that in one of the examples that you mentioned, you stood your ground, I think is something very important and a key lesson that every woman needs to take from your story. Standing our ground to show and prove that we can actually be and do better than even the man can. It's not a competition, but I'm worth it. I deserve it. I can do it. It's very, very important. So I'm going to come to Bidemi now. So have you experienced any form of gender equality or inequality in your field? And I know you are a communications and idea strategist beyond being the founder of the Smile Outreach. So are there any examples? I know you have a lot, but are there any examples you would want to share, any stories in particular you would want to share with us, Bidemi?
Okay. So gender inequality. I've dedicated my career, to be honest, to fostering social change and uplifting African voices, and it's because of experiences I've seen up close, things I've also experienced, right? Founding the Smile Outreach has given me front row seat to the realities of gender inequality and also the incredible resilience of women and girls across Africa. I'm also in the development space, but I've also realized that period poverty can really happen to anybody, whether you have money or not. The moment you are on the
Yep.
road and this happens, and for some reason you didn't go out with any period product, instantly, right there, right then, right, it's period poverty, because we don't live in an economy or society where certain things are available. Necessities like this are not available at strategic locations like restaurants and public toilets, right? So it's really an issue. I had a terrible first job. I had to leave because I was having a different experience compared to some of my workmates or colleagues, and it felt like I was just blowing things out of proportion. Experiences led me to create an 11-part series on, I called it my period chronicles, just to shed more light on this issue. I've also witnessed friends growing up, friends being groomed and sexually assaulted by close friends and family members. No one standing up for them. The ones that spoke up were shamed into silence. I've seen women repeatedly, relegated from positions of freedom to ones of dependency. These experiences are not just unique to me. Dorkong just shared all the things that she has faced, right? Some, not all, some. Maybe, perhaps 1% of what she has really faced. They are not unique to us, but they've shaped us and they've made us become who we are. Not weakened, but standing up and acting, taking actions, to fight against what we see. We've not just founded foundations or organizations, we have become amplifiers and platforms ourselves. For some people, they see us as role models. For some people, they see us as change makers and disruptors. For others, they see us as bad influence, bitter and spiteful women for daring to stand up. But because we have become platforms ourselves, we are now striving to level the playing field. Dorkong mentioned how she refused to back down. That's the spirit, because I will also not back down, right, in the face of being mistreated. I will not back down if someone tries to stifle me or stops or takes my voice away. And that's what we're trying to do. We provide resources and training and opportunities. We share our experiences, and we ensure that the misrepresented and marginalized are given the platforms to share their experience and also give voice to them. So this for me is like a summation of my experience so far and my fight in this journey. Thank you, Ella.
Thank you so much, Bidemi. Thank you so much. Different experiences, and every woman's experience for gender inequality is different. And that's where intersectionality comes in. But I don't want to get into that. I want to bring the spotlight back to Ayo. Thank goodness you're able to join us in here. Ayo, welcome. So we just kick-started, right? We just started the conversation, and I was asking Bidemi and Dorkong if they have experienced any sort of gender equality or inequality in their field, and they were just sharing personal experiences on how they've experienced that. So do you mind sharing with us your own personal experience with gender equality?
Good evening.
And equality. Good evening.
All right. Thank you very much. First of all, I'm very sorry. I don't know what really happened. So I really, because, while I was listening, I was like, oh no, this is not the kind of event you should miss. So thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you.
There has been a lot of experience, especially for me as a young person, aside maybe being a woman or something, as a young person, also, starting my engagement, my social impact interventions as an undergraduate in school. So all these coupled together actually exposed me to some kind of treatment from people. So let me just share one experience with us. Was during COVID-19 period. So there was this opportunity for organizations, to carry out some projects then. So I actually put in for this application. And of course, I believe that we were selected based on maybe the excellence or something that they saw in our application.
So after the selection, during our onboarding, so the coordinator, the national coordinator for that particular movement, had to speak with us one-on-one. So when he got to realize that he was actually speaking with a lady, so he was like, are you sure? Are you sure you are the one that applied for this thing? I said, yes, sir. Are you sure you'll be able to do this thing? That we actually need a man. So that really made me feel like there is a kind of definition or there's a kind of mindset that people still have in our society as regards being a woman and maybe leading successful projects or something. So that's one. Then the second one is something that is general, because I still believe that many people still have this idea that when you see women going into establishing NGOs or social organization, is because women are actually a kind of emotional being. So I've seen someone said that to me over time, that what this thing you are really doing is not a job actually. Most of you women, you just do this thing because of your emotions, you want to help people, that's why you are doing it. So go and look for a job, go and look for something good to do. So these and many more are some of my own experiences, and which I think it's actually coming from the kind of definition people still have in our society as regards being a woman, and there's still a lot to address when it comes to gender inequality. So I think I would love to stop here.
Thank you so much, Aya. That was really profound. Like, why are you undermining the person? This is a man's job. Like, really? Seriously? Anyways, it's really one of the things that we experience a lot of times, and thank you so much for really sharing that with us, especially as a founder. People having the thought that it's a woman's world. I've not heard that before, and it's quite strange. But anyways, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Voices Against Violence. We hope you found today's conversation insightful and thought-provoking. If you'd like to learn more, partner with us, or have any inquiries, feel free to reach out to us at partnership@thesmileoutreach.africa or call +234 81 134 871 51. Until next time, keep advocating, keep raising your voice, and keep making a difference. Bye.